Hi, 5th grade. Welcome to today's lesson. We're to Wednesday. We're making it halfway through our new week of virtual learning. I started going through this lecture and for some reason it stopped recording. So we're going to start over here with lesson 11. So going back to the beginning here, this unit is about subtracting fractions, making like units numerically. Same thing we've been doing, but we're going to be subtracting now. So I did a couple of example problems for you. Review. So here we started with 1/3. We subtracted 1/5. We needed to get like units. Again, if you need to start, be listing out your multiples, you certainly can. So hopefully we're starting to see some patterns and some number sense here. So we know that 1/3, I know my least common multiple is 15. Looking at my 1/3 here, what could I do to 1/3 to get 15 parts? Well, I could split it in my whole 1/3. So if you thought about your diagram again, if you had your 1/3, what would you need to do to those thirds to get 15th? Well, you'd need to split them all into fifths to get a total of 15 parts. So that would become 5/15. 1/3 is equivalent to 5/15 over here. 1/5 is equivalent to 3/15. Mathematically, what am I doing to these fifths to get 15ths? Okay, well, I've got to split those fifths into thirds to be able to get 15 parts. So here I have 5/15 minus 3/15 gave me 2/15. Problem number 2 that we did was 3/5 minus 1/6. Okay, let's see. So I had a student the other day in a one-on-one Zoom ask me, Miss Anderson, can we just multiply the denominators together to get what our common denominator is going to be? And I have two answers. One, yes. However, it may not give you your least common multiple, meaning that sometimes once you're done here, if it isn't the least common multiple, you're going to end up having to reduce. So it's better to find the least common multiple, and we'll get into some examples, and I'll show you those as we come across them. So here we have 3/5 minus 1/6. What am I doing to those fifths? I know that my least common multiple is 30ths. So 30ths. So these fifths, I would have to multiply numerator and denominator by 6 to get the equivalent fraction of 18/30ths. 1/6 is equivalent to 5/30ths. Subtract 18 minus 5 and get 13/30ths. All right. So then we jumped into the next problem here, which leads us into today's lesson. So we're looking at the problem 1 3/4 minus 3/5. So 1 3/4 minus 3/5. There's 3 different methods here, and I'm going to show you all 3 of them that they go over, and I'll show you the one that I prefer, and you guys can decide which one you like the best, which one makes the most sense. So the first method here, we have 1 3/4. They've decomposed that 1 3/4 into 5/5 and 3/4, and so then they're going to subtract 3/5 from that. So we can say, okay, well, this 5/5 minus these 3/5 is going to leave me with 2/5. Now this is 1 3/4 to begin with, so I need to add those 3/4 back. From here, we're doing the same things that we've done before, finding our least common multiple, which in this case is 20. Okay, so 2/5 is equivalent to 8/20. Okay, because I'm multiplying numerator and denominators by 4s. And on this side, this is going to be equivalent to, this is really 5 over 5, okay, so this is really equivalent to 15/20. So this becomes 23/20. Improper fraction, we can't leave it like that, so we need 20/20. So we have 3/20 left over. This becomes 1 whole and 3/20. All right, method number 2. 1 3/4, same problem. minus 3/5. All right, another way we can think about this is we can look at this as 1 whole plus 3/4 minus 3/5. All right, so for right now, we're going to leave this 1 whole out here, and we're going to get our common denominator. We've already done all of that hard work over here. Okay, so this becomes 15/20, and this becomes 12. Did I write the problem down wrong somewhere? What did I do wrong? I wish you guys were here because you'd tell me. 12/20. All right. Yeah, because we ended up with different fractions over here because we did it a different process. Okay, so now we're going to go 1 whole, and then 15/20 minus 12/20 leaves me with 3/20. 1 and 3/20. Okay? That's method 2. All right, method 3. I really want to get it on the same page so you can see them all together. 1 and 3/4 minus 3/5. All right, so method 3, they actually say, all right, well, instead of dealing with these whole numbers, let's go ahead and make this into an improper fraction. We had a whole lesson of that, going improper fractions to mixed numbers to improper fractions. So remembering, what am I doing? How many fourths is 1 and 3/4? Well, this is 4/4, 5, 6, 7/4. So this is 7/4 minus the 3/5. From here, I can get my common denominators. It's still 20, my least common multiple. Okay, over here, I have to multiply numerator and denominator by 5/5, which gives me 35/20. Over here, I'm multiplying by 4, so that gives me 12/20. Now I can subtract these two numbers to give me 23/20, which is what I ended up with here. So then I can convert to a mixed number to give me 1 and 3/20. Okay, so from here, you guys might want to pause the video, you might want to go back and rewatch the video, watch these 3 different methods, and see which way works the best for you. I will say this way, I've seen students get more confused about sometimes because they forget that we're adding this back in and what we're doing this way. These 2 methods seem to have the highest success for understanding that I've seen, but again, you need to figure out what works best for you and stick with it. This is the method that I do most of the time, and the reason for that is when we get into bigger numbers, it just seems to work. But I do like this method as well. So, how are we doing on time here? All right, let's go ahead and do one more problem. All right, guys, welcome back. So one last example here for now, I think, is going to be 5 and 3/4, and we're going to subtract 3 and 1/6. So first of all, as you know, we like to have an estimate so that we can decide whether our answer is reasonable once we're finished. Great way to do that is with these number lines. They do ask you to do some number lines on your problem set for this lesson, so let's go ahead and look at one. So if I had 5 and 3/4, I'm going to roughly put that 5 and 3/4 there. A little more than 5 1/2, but not to 6. I need to take 3 and another 6 away. So here we go. That would be 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to take another 1/6, which isn't very much. So 1, 1, 1, and my 1/6. So my answer is going to be somewhere in this area. So if I get an answer that's 20 or 5 or 6 or anything that's not between 2 and 3, we know we have a problem, right? All right, go ahead and pause the video. Let's see how you guys do and then come back and check those answers. All right, guys, welcome back. So here is a great example of what I was talking about earlier with whether we can multiply our denominators together. So we certainly can, and we would get 24, okay? But 24 is not the least common multiple. 12 is. And so when you see down here in my example, if you use larger numbers, they're harder to keep track of. all right? So it's really nice to use the least common multiple when possible. If you use 24, you'd get the same answer, you'd just have more reducing to do at the end. So using 12 as my denominator, I went ahead and renamed 3/4 as 9/12 and 1/6 as 2/12. Now, one cool thing that I wanted to show you that hasn't come up yet. When you are in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all of those grades, most of the time, especially starting out, we see a lot of problems where we stack, right? And even going up, 7 times 2, whatever we have, okay? You can do the same thing. Sorry, it's blurry. Blah, come on. You can do the same thing with these fractions, and sometimes it's really nice to see, especially when we move forward. So I wanted to show you one example here where I went ahead and I stacked them. So I took 5 and 9/12 minus 3 and 2/12. Okay, here's the important part. You have to start all the way to the right, just like you do in any other problem. So here I'm asking myself, can I take 2/12 away from 9/12? Yes, I can, and I get 7/12. Okay, then 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, later when we get into this a little bit farther, if this number, let's say this was 2/12, and I'm trying to take 9/12 away, right? Can I do that? Well, sure, but I'm going to get negative 7/12, right? So then we would have to go rename these units, and we're going to take a whole and make that, and that's for a whole nother lesson, okay? But just remember, if you stack this and you can subtract just like normal, awesome, problem solved, 2 and 7/12. All right, over here I wanted to show you the other way that I showed you that I prefer. In this case, it's much harder than just this nice simple way, but it still works. So here, I want to know how many twelfths this is. Well, 5 times 12 is 60, plus 9 was 69 twelfths. Here, 12 times 3 was 36, plus 2 was 38 twelfths. Subtracting these two numbers left me with 31 twelfths, okay? Now, when I decompose this, I know that 24 twelfths is the same as 2 wholes. So you could go 12 twelfths and another 12 twelfths and then 7 twelfths to equal that 31. I just went ahead and did that in one step, okay? One of the other methods that they showed you that I just show you in closing here, they took this is the same as 5 plus 9/12 minus 3 and 2/12. So we can say this is the same as 5 minus 3 is 2. So now I have 2 plus 9/12 minus 2/12. So now I can do this part of the equation first so that I end up with 2 and 7/12. Okay? Quite a few different ways to get there. Really just thinking about what you're doing. I don't think that you guys will have any problems on this lesson, but as always, if you do, you know how to reach me. Good luck.